Hi friends, today is day 12 after the storm and I have a really important public service announcement. It's time for us to face a destructive monster. As you know, I've been pretty much cut off from internet and cell phone for quite some days, except for short little spurts, and yesterday was the first time that I was able to go online and be on social media for a little bit longer. And I have to say, it was pretty heartbreaking because what I saw was so much division, which is not at all what I've been experiencing these last few days here, or I would say since the storm here. Now, I realize that things spin out of control on social media very quickly, and that we're only a couple of weeks away from an election, and things tend to get nasty, and people feel like they have to take sides on every single little thing. But to be honest, I cannot believe how on social media this whole disaster event has become so political, and people are fighting over it, and there's cancel culture going on. And I mean, it it affected me last night to a point where I actually had a hard time sleeping. And I think the reason for that was because it instantly brought up some memories of this incredible division that was present during the COVID times, right? Where so many people were divided, and things became taboo to talk about, to a point where, you know, if one didn't want to get labeled, they couldn't even think out loud, that type of thing. Being afraid of being labeled or canceled and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I just wanted to come on here for a quick moment and speak from my heart. I do completely understand people's concern to not be spreading misinformation, and I also understand that it's human nature somewhat to feel like we always have to have an opinion on something right away, and we have to choose sides, and it's us against them, and so on. But division is the destructive monster. Maybe look at it this way. The human connection and people being there for one another, no matter what, is 100% what is helping people get through. Disconnection, people being divided, fighting, things like that, has the exact opposite effect. Division and disconnection drain us of our life forces. It's exhausting. They make us sick. And they're also a huge contributor to compassion fatigue. With Hurricane Milton now making landfall within the next 48 hours, and everything that's going on here in the mountains for the next weeks and months to come, that's the last thing we need. What we need is for people to continue to look past the noise and go straight to the human spirit. Also, please be a little bit careful around accusing people of spreading misinformation. Like I said before, people's experiences here can drastically vary. So what might be going on in Asheville could be completely different from what somebody's experiencing down at the end of the line in a far remote area. Also, I was taught that one should never judge somebody else's way of grieving, and one should never judge somebody else's response to trauma or being in shock. People need to be allowed to go through the different phases and stages and internal processing of this trauma without being questioned or, accused of misinformation right off the bat. I have witnessed some of my own friends, for example, being fairly okay one day and then having a point of total desperation the next day, where, they may just want to stand and scream out for help. Somebody help me. People's personal situations are going to vary from day to day. Different communities and the relief efforts are going to vary from day to day. Like I said the other day, we cannot be making blanket statements. So friends, I would appreciate if you share this message, pass it on, and please don't look away. Just keep your heart open and go straight to the human spirit, human to human. There is so much more that connects us than separates us. And what's happening on the ground here with people helping each other is living proof of that. And what's going on social media is like a whole different world. I'm going to finish with some words of wisdom from an important and close elder friend of mine named Patty. By the way, it took us days to find out if Patty was okay after the storm. Thank God she is. Her family is. Her son and daughter-in-law had an organic biodynamic farm in the Silo area that was completely destroyed during the storm. But they're safe. During the COVID times, when things got so nasty with division and disconnection, my friend Patty stayed so strong and steady. And no matter what maybe her own personal thoughts were on things, she did not let herself be divided from others. And she said to me, and this will always stick with me, she said, "Nobody can control me to make me go against my fellow man." And that's always stuck with me.